Got a rainy, overcast morning, and this boat dock is slick. Not gonna let a little rain stop me. All right, thanks for tuning in. Doing something a little different today. I've come up the Chattahoochee River. It's one of the main tributaries to Lake Lanier. And I'm gonna kind of be targeting largemouth, but there are spots up here too. In years past, I've come up and done pretty well in the summer, so stay tuned. So I'm up here kind of experimenting. Hey now. It's a pretty nice bass there. So I'm up the river. That's a 2-pounder probably. Pretty nice fish. I will take it. I'm throwing a Texas rig worm. We got an overcast, rainy day, spitting, raining. Was actually considering pulling the boat out and going somewhere else, but that gives me a little hope anyway. But there we go. Ooh, I believe it's a good fish too. It's another 2.5 pounder. Nice fish. So my plan was to come up here and fish all the docks and fish for largemouth, which I still may do. But I came farther upriver. Anyway, I came farther upriver just to experiment a little bit, look around, and so far it's paid off. A couple of fish. If you watch the channel at all, you know, when in doubt, I'm going to throw the worm just because I know it catches fish. Both of those fish have been pretty shallow too. Even in a river situation like this, see all this kind of looks the same. You're looking for little points, little differences on the shoreline. That's where your fish are going to be. So this rain's kind of pesky today. You know, my microphones here are not waterproof. My camera isn't. So I'm kind of taking a chance. You see a little log in the water here. That'd be a good place for a bass to be laying. I'm using an 1/8 ounce weight, a 3/0 round bend worm hook. And just a homemade straight tail worm. So It started raining pretty heavily. I'm gonna have to film the rest with my chest cam here because it is waterproof. I've just missed 2 fish. Oh man, it is a nice spot. It's another 2.5 pounder. Hope you can see that good. My other camera I had to put away because it was getting too wet. But I'm onto something up here and way up the river. Interesting. I'm gonna try to keep this camera clear of water, but you can see I got a log out here. I got bumped there. Oh, I did get bumped. Would make sense, you know, any isolated cover seems to have a fish or two on it. I think I'm gonna stick with the shallow water here for now. So I've got 3 in the boat, all 3 good fish. And like I said, I was expecting to come up here fish for largemouth, but you got to take what the lake gives you. The nice thing about up here, rarely will you see another boat. Got it all to myself. As soon as the rain lets up, I'll get out my other camera and get it back up and running. If the rain lets up, it's supposed to. All right, the rain has slowed down. So I was able to get my other camera back out. Hopefully I didn't ruin it. So I've caught enough fish to make me want to stay up here and experiment a little bit. Another good one. It's another solid. That's got to be 2 pounds at least. Nice fish. So if you're going to fish for bass, I don't care what lake you're on, what part of the country, a Texas rig worm needs to be part of your arsenal. Man, it's nice and calm up here. Not another boat in sight. I did get a little soggy. I can't complain. It's a nice little break coming up the river here. Eh, first largemouth. Not a big one, but take him. Boy, that fish really, he really hit it and took off. Boy, it's another nice spot. I really would have thought that would have been a largemouth, but man, check it out. That's 2.5, 3 pounds. Nice spot. So even up the river here, just like I've been, just like I've been catching them up in the creek, or creeks, I should say. These spots are right in there in the largemouth stuff. Oh. So this big tree laying in the water is right where I caught that spot. Really would have expected a largemouth to be there. Shallow water. So this isolated cover that's laying around out here, just about every tree has had a fish on it. So I'm slowing down and picking apart this big tree in the water here where I just caught that last fish. And I did just get bit. So there are a few fish on this tree. These river fish act a little bit different than the fish in the lake, but you know, a bass is a bass. They're going to be on the cover. Yeah, it's a nice change up, you know. Plus, I've caught some nice fish. I can't complain at all. Man, there's just timber and rocks and points. I love fishing rivers. It's a different kind of fishing, but I do enjoy it. Interestingly, I tried the jig up here, a bass jig, and I couldn't get bit. Had to throw the worm. Boy, that fish really jumped. That's a solid 1.5 pounds. So I'm just fishing shallow. That's what I've been catching all of my fish shallow pretty much for the month of August, which is pretty unusual for me. I mean, up here in the river, I'm pretty sure you can catch them shallow all year long. So I came up here to fish the docks on some of these pockets for largemouth, and I started catching them this way, so I think I'm going to stick with it. All right, I just thought I was snagged. I went to get it out, and it turns out it's a big old bass. That's interesting. I mean, I'm talking a good one. I thought I was snagged. So it turns out it's a nice 2-pounder. I'll take it. I thought it was snagged, so I start jerking on it. All of a sudden it pulled back. It was a good one. I've caught some pretty good fish up here. And this is the Chattahoochee River, for anybody who's wondering. I'm just letting the wind kind of drift me down along here. It's kind of a bluff wall area. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Picked this beautiful spot to do my outro. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up. Make sure you tune in for the next episode. Meanwhile, check out the waterfall. That is awesome.